Hello all, welcome to today's tutorial. We'll be looking at random number generators today, and I'll be teaching you how to build one. It's quite a fun and interesting one today. We'll be looking at random numbers and what their functions are, etc. So first we need to include a header file. To include the header file, which is called cstdlib from the C Standard Library. And from this we want to include a function called rand. So when you run this, it returns a random number to you. We'll start by showing you how to build a basic random number generator. You can call rand 25 times. So int x is equal to 1, and x is less than 25, and x plus plus. So the loop here will run 25 times. We'll now just try and put in C out rand end line. When we print this, we can see we get a whole lot of random numbers. But it does generate quite large numbers in their thousands. But we may not want such big numbers. We may want to build a random number generator for rolling dice for it. This would mean I want 6 numbers, 1 to 6. This is what we can do. To get a particular set of numbers, like 6 numbers, we take the rand and we put modulus 6. This will then give you 6 random numbers, and it will take a really large number like 25,000 and divide it by 6 and give you the remainder. The remainder could be either 0 or 1 to 5. 6 cannot be a remainder because when you divide anything by 6, with 6 as a remainder, you'll just get another 1. However, with a dice, you have 6 numbers, 1 to 6. We don't want 0 to 5. So how do we add 1 to these numbers? Just in front of the rand 6, type in 1 plus. This will basically take a random number and divide it by 6. Then it would add 1 to the remainder, which would be anything from 0 to 5. This way, you get your numbers 1 to 6 and 0 to 6. So that's how to build a random number generator where you want to get a particular set of results. So basically, whatever number you want, you put as a modulus rand, and add it to however many numbers you want it should define. So now let's talk about computers and random numbers, because sometimes when we build a random number generator, even if it's built correctly, we're given the same random number 2 or 3 times. The fact is that no computer is completely random. They don't have a brain to think for themselves. All computers have to follow a certain set of instructions and pattern, whether that be in slot machines, game shows, etc. Nothing electronic is really random. They have to follow a very complex algorithm. And it is that complexity that makes us think that it is all randomly generated, when actually the computer is following a particular set of instructions or pattern. So how can we change the pattern or algorithm so our numbers do not come out the same and appear random, especially in something like gaming? The people aren't actually supposed to understand exactly how the rand function works as such, or any algorithm the computer follows. To make things easier, C++ developers allowed us to produce a random number and use that in a function called srand. Srand allows us to put in any random number and then we get different results. Using this function, whenever we put in a random number, we truly get random numbers back, because the algorithm has been changed. So now if we put in 43, we get 44151. And when we do it again, we get 44151 again. Okay, so it seems we didn't build a random number generator, but just changed the algorithm a little. So then what do we do? Well, we can start by including another header file, and this one is called ctime. This actually lets us access the time or the clock on our computer. So we pass in the function time, and as a parameter of time, pass in 0, then we'll run it. So it worked. How did it work? Basically, with the srand, we can change the algorithm, but with the same number and different algorithm, it still gives back the same results each time. The time 0 calculates the seconds since maybe kind of from 1970, and therefore every second the value changes, i.e. a million seconds now, 1,000,001 seconds, etc. We have no idea how many seconds have passed since 1970, so we get a feeling that this number generator is actually random. So the value keeps constantly changing, and each time you run the program, it gives back different numbers. So that's how you build a random number generator, which will give us random numbers as you can get. So to recap, a RAND will run a complex algorithm. SRAND allows us to change the algorithm by adding a number, and times 0 counts the number of seconds. And as the value is continually changing, the algorithm also changes. As a result, we are able to build a proper random number generator. Okay, so hope that enlightened you a little. I'll see you again in the next tutorial. Until then, take care and bye-bye.